Today I'm going to read to you a story from this book, Tuntuni Stories, and it's by a gentleman named Upendra Kishore Roy Chaudhary, who was a very famous writer from Bengal. There is a collection of 27 stories, and these are stories that he collected from the villages in Bengal. He said that, at the end of the day, the children have been playing in the fields all day, then they come home tired and they don't want to eat their food. They just want to curl up on the mat and go to sleep. So that's when their mothers tell them these stories to wake them up and get them to eat. So I hope that you will also enjoy these stories. The stories were originally written in Bengali and they have been translated into English by Rajyashree Dutt, that's me, and the illustrations have also been done by me. So today I'm going to read you a story called The Tiger Eaters. Tiger Eaters? Who eats a tiger? Let's find out. Mr. and Mrs. Fox had 3 little cubs, but they had no house. What should we do? Wondered Mr. and Mrs. Fox. If we don't find a burrow soon, our cubs will be soaked by the rain. Then they will surely die. They looked everywhere. Finally, they found a large and comfortable burrow. It would be perfect. But all around the mouth of the burrow, there were pug marks. Tiger pug marks. Mrs. Fox was worried. Oh, husband, she said, this is Mr. Tiger's house. How can we live here? Mr. Fox said, we searched high and low and far and wide. This is the only burrow we could find. We have no choice. We have to live here. What will we do when Mr. Tiger comes back? Asked the worried Mrs. Fox. When Mr. Tiger comes back, you must pinch all the cubs. Pinch them hard. When they cry loudly, I will ask you, why are the children crying? And you must say, they want to eat a tiger, said Mr. Fox. I understand, said Mrs. Fox. That's a good plan. And she curled up inside the burrow with her 3 little cubs. A few days went by peacefully. Then, one morning, Mr. and Mrs. Fox spied Mr. Tiger. He was coming back to his home. At once, Mrs. Fox pinched her cubs really hard. They howled and yelped and made an awful din. Why are the children crying? Asked Mr. Fox in a deep and terrible voice. They want to eat a tiger, replied Mrs. Fox in a deep and dreadful voice. That's why they are crying. Mr. Tiger was almost home when he heard, they want to eat a tiger. He stopped dead in his tracks. Oh, Baba, he thought, what are these creatures that are living in my burrow? Even their children want to eat a tiger. They must be horrible big monsters. How can I find another tiger for them? boomed Mr. Fox in his deep and frightening voice. "You know we have already fed them all the tigers in the forest." "That won't do," said Mrs. Fox in a deep and scary voice. "You just have to find another tiger for them. They will not stop crying till they have eaten another tiger." And she pinched the three little cubs, who yelped and screeched even louder. "Oh, all right," said Mr. Fox. Then suddenly he yelled, "Wait! Wait! Here comes a tiger! Fetch me my thopang! I will potang him just now." Now, of course, there is no such thing as a thopang or a potang. These were just words made up by clever Mr. Fox. But Mr. Tiger heard thopang and potang and trembled with fear. "Oh, Margot," thought Mr. Tiger, "I'd better go right away. I don't know what this monster is planning to do to me." Mr. Tiger took off. He bounded through the forest, leaping over bushes and shrubs. Mr. and Mrs. Fox sighed with relief. "Ah, that problem has been solved," they said. Mr. Tiger ran and ran and ran through the forest. He ran like he had never run before. Mr. Monkey was swinging from a tree. He looked down and was surprised to see Mr. Tiger running like the wind. "Why is Mr. Tiger running so fast? Something must have happened," he thought. Mr. Monkey called out, "Oh, Brother Tiger! Oh, Brother Tiger! What's the matter? Why are you running?" Mr. Tiger stopped. "I'm running because," he said, panting, "if I did not run, they would catch me and eat me up." Mr. Monkey looked puzzled. "An animal that can eat you? Never heard of it. I don't believe it." "If you had been there, my friend, you would not be talking like this," replied Mr. Tiger. "It's all very well to be brave from a distance." "If I had been there, I would have told you that there is nothing to be frightened of," said Mr. Monkey. "You are stupid. That's why you were scared." Mr. Tiger got mad. "Is that right? I'm stupid, am I? And you're very clever, huh? Come on, let's go back there right now," he snarled at Mr. Monkey. "I'll go," said Mr. Monkey, "but you have to carry me on your back." "That's fine," said Mr. Tiger. "I will take you on my back." So Mr. Monkey climbed onto Mr. Tiger's back, and they set off for Mr. Tiger's burrow. Mr. and Mrs. Fox were relaxing outside the burrow. Suddenly, they spied Mr. Tiger returning with Mr. Monkey on his back. At once, Mrs. Fox dashed into the burrow. She pinched the cubs really hard. They started wailing and boo-hooing like banshees. Banshees? Do you know what a banshee is? It's like a witch who shrieks and yells. So they were shrieking like banshees. "Hurry, stop, stop," said Mr. Fox in his deep and growliest voice. "Don't cry so much. You will make yourselves sick." Mrs. Fox said, in her deep and ghostly voice. "They will not stop till we have got a tiger for them to eat. I have sent their uncle to fetch us a tiger," said Mr. Fox in his deep and scary voice. "He should be here any minute with a tiger. Just wait." Then Mr. Fox yelled out in his deep and ghoulish voice. What's ghoulish? It's another word for ghostly. "Look, look, look! Uncle Monkey has brought us a tiger. Don't cry. Quick, fetch me my topang. I will botang him just now." Mr. Monkey had been quite brave until now. But when he heard those frightening words, "topang" and "botang," he lost all his bravado. Bravado? When you're pretending to be brave. He lost all his bravado. In one quick leap, he jumped up onto the nearest branch, and in seconds he had scampered off far, far away. And poor Mr. Tiger was not far behind. He turned tail and ran. He ran and he ran for 2 whole days before he stopped. And Mr. and Mrs. Fox lived on happily in their new home. The end.